Next question. Will memories be stored in the hippocampus without registered? Can they be renewed by such techniques as hypnosis?
I'm not sure if I understood it. Memories that are not stored.
See, yeah, who wrote this question? You mind, maybe you
Could you elaborate on that a little for me?
Here, I'll bring you the mic.
When you were talking about having to register a memory,
Yes.
what came to mind was if somebody were, let's say, a witness to a crime, and they hadn't really thought about remembering, can they be helped to remember something that they might have seen or experienced or witnessed through the use of techniques such as hypnosis?
You know, it's a very interesting question, and I think, as I understand the current status of the law, most hypnotically derived memories are not, they may be admissible, but they're not considered to have much validity. And here's the reason. Think about this. In fact, let's do a little experiment. Everybody close their eyes. All right, now, tell me what the person to your right is wearing. Okay? You don't have to tell me that's but now, just think about it for a minute. What is the person to your right wearing? And really try to do this and say, gosh, I have no idea. But then if I were to say to you, okay, is the person to your right wearing glasses? Is the person to your right wearing green or red? And you narrow it down there. Are they wearing a shirt or a jacket? You will begin to see, now you can open your eyes and see how close you are to it. You will begin to see. See, isn't it fun? Every question should become like an opportunity to think about some fun way to figure out the answer. There is this thing that happens across the lifespan called incidental learning. And I used to do this all the time as a memory game as a kid, and sometimes I do it now when I travel, which is to go to a room and then sometime thereafter close my eyes and ask myself, can I count how many windows there are in the room? Do I know anything about it? Because there is something called incidental learning. So in traffic accidents, in traumatic situations, it is very definitely true that people take in information. They're not aware they're taking in. That's a truth. The other thing, though, that's very interesting, and I don't know if any of you have ever read any of the literature around eyewitness accounts, but there's a very rich body of literature on this, where you put people in a room and you have a fake trauma thing happen, or a fake violent action. And then you bring in police and you interview people, and you say, could you tell me what the gunman was wearing? And you tell me how many there were. And it is extraordinary. It is extraordinary how poor people's memories are for incidental information. So, the fact that it is encoded, so to speak, or it registers unconsciously, doesn't necessarily make it accurate. Which is why even eyewitness accounts without hypnosis are always subject to such, intense interrogation. That said, I think when people in a therapeutic sense, as opposed to a legal sense, try to recover memories, there are many pathways for that I think are worth trying if a person feels as though they have kept a lot of things out of consciousness, because we do that all the time. People keep painful memories out of consciousness all the time, because things that are hard to bear are hard to bear. And so the brain's so cool because the brain will protect you. The problem is that the brain hasn't developed to the point where you say, you know what, I'm an adult now, I don't need that protection. I'd like to access a little bit more of my past. And as a psychiatrist, we'll have a lot of people who really have no childhood memories. And they assume that they must have had some trauma. So it just shut everything down. And sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. So it's just all very interesting, but that is kind of a long answer to your question. Yes, hypnosis and other techniques can help people recall. It doesn't necessarily make it accurate.
Okay, I'm needing a little help with this question, so whoever, I'm not saying it right, whoever wrote it, if they want to help clarify it. It says, if depression increases earlier, chances of suffering from dementia, do psychotropic meds such as antidepressants help with the prevention of this phenomenon?
Help with the something of this
Prevention of this.
prevention of this phenomenon, thank you. You know, the jury is out on that in terms of the literature. The first part of that statement is true. It does appear that recurrent major depression predisposes the brain to developing dementing disorders. It does look like recurring major depression is a risk factor for developing dementia of the Alzheimer's type. That's one thing that the evidence is pretty clear on. It's also pretty clear that depression is the #1 reversible cause of reversible dementias. So it is also true that people who have cognitive impairment due to depression, while they are clinically depressed, they will meet all the signs and symptoms, you test them, they have all the criteria for dementia. When you treat their major depression, the dementia goes away. We used to call it pseudo-dementia, but frankly, there's nothing pseudo about it. It's dementia, which is just a syndrome. So you put those two facts together and you say recurring depression predisposes. We see the clinical characteristics of cognitive decline in people who have depression. You treat the depression, that goes away. It makes sense to think that treating all those previous episodes would in fact protect against the dementia. The epidemiology on this is messy. The research isn't clear, but it appears that untreated depression confers a higher risk of dementia, but even treated depression confers a little bit more risk than if you've never been depressed at all. So it's a stepwise thing. Untreated, worst case scenario. Treated, better than untreated. But recurring depressions, probably worse than no depression at all. Those seem to be the facts. I keep looking at you, but that wasn't your question, it was over there.
This person doesn't want you to believe that they're being smart or bold, but was just very curious as to how many years did you spend in school to do what you're doing?
How many years did I spend in school? Well, let's see. Let's count them. I went to college, and that gets you, to 16 years, and then I went to medical school, and that takes up to 20 years. And then I did a year of internal medicine as a postgrad, so that's 21, and then 3 years as a psychiatrist, so 24 years. And then you've got all your continuing medical education. Because the way so that's my answer to the question. Okay, it takes about 24 years to do this. But really what it takes to do this is a constant love of learning. I do not let a day go by without learning one new thing. For whatever reason, it's a great gift from my family and a great gift, I think, in my nature. I just get a big kick out of learning new things. My brain seems to be wired in a way that I need a fair amount of novel stimulation. And I want it. And so to keep that from spinning off into just, a pathological ADD thing, it's, some people might think it has spun off, but I don't think so. It's really, it really is, I have a tremendous love of learning. I just love it. So I would say how many years? As many as I've been alive, which is 59.
This is more of a comment, which I'm sure that you'll just reinforce as well. It's a comment just said, and this person probably sounds to me perhaps they learned from this lesson. It said, coordinating the use of all pills when discharged from the hospital and appointments when to see the doctor for follow-up. Don't leave it up in the air. It could be deadly.
I would reinforce that comment. I think that the whole way our whole approach to managing a lot of health is pharmaceutically driven. And that results in a lot of very complex medication regimens. And because of the fragmentation of our healthcare, very complicated follow-up schedules.